Every useful AI agent eventually runs into the same problem. It needs permission to act. Not permission in a prompt, real permission to call an API, update a system, or operate on behalf of a user. And when that action matters, the business needs proof: which identity acted, which operation it called, and why the request was allowed or denied. That's the problem that Crittora solves. Crittora is the agent authority broker. It sits between any AI agent and any system it controls and enforces a cryptographically signed policy that defines exactly what the agent is allowed to do. The agent cannot exceed it, the policy cannot be tampered with, every action is provable. Let me walk you through the pro. This is the Crittora Agent Authority Broker admin. I'm opening the partner workspace, which is where we manage users, permission boundaries, agent tool lists, and API operations for this partner. The first thing I want to do is create the user that the MCP client will operate as. I go to Users, click Add User, and enter the display username and login email. Now I'll save the user. When I save this, the Authority Broker is going to send an email with my login credentials that I'll use when I connect the Authority Broker MCP to my AI tool. Now I can see that the user has been created, and this is the user that I'm going to assign to the permission boundary. Next, I confirm that this partner already has the API capability I want to govern. Here I can see that the Portfolio Management API, and it has the operations that I want to control through policy. Now I'll create the permission boundary. I select the user, switch to API operations, and choose a portfolio management capability. These are the operations I want to allow for this user. What matters here is that I'm not granting broad access to the whole API. I'm selecting the exact operations that should be exposed to the boundary. I can review the policy details here, and now I'll save the permission boundary. The permission boundary is now created. So next, I'll move over to Cloud Code and set up the MCP server. Inside Cloud Code, I go to Settings, then Connectors, and add a custom connector for the Authority Broker MCP. I give it a name, enter the MCP URL, and add it. Now I'm going to connect. For authentication, I use the credentials that were emailed to me when the user was created. I enter the username and password, complete the sign-in flow, and finish connecting. Now Cloud Code is connected to the Authority Broker MCP as the user bound to that permission boundary. At this point, I can ask Cloud Code what tools are available through this MCP connection. The important thing is that Cloud Code only sees the tools represented by the operations I allowed in the boundary. Now I go back to the Authority Broker and I'm going to edit the same permission boundary. These are the operations that were currently selected, and I'm going to remove 2 of them and save and update. That changes the authority for this user without changing the client. The boundary itself has changed. Now let me go back to Cloud Code, refresh the tool list for the connector, and look to see what's available. Now we can see that the removed operations are no longer exposed. Only the operations still allowed by the permission boundary remain available. That's the key point of this demo. The Crittora Agent Authority Broker is not just storing policy, it is actively shaping the live MCP tool surface the client can discover and use. This is the key shift. Agents no longer act because they possess a secret, they act because they can prove authority. Crittora works across APIs, MCP servers, cloud providers, and operational systems because the model is built around identity, capability, signed policy runtime enforcement, and audit. Crittora is a trust layer that makes agentic AI deployable anywhere that matters. We are at cryptora.com. Thank you.